Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy Chronicles of Zerzura. Moi drodzy, udało nam się dotrzeć do więzienia. W jednej z tych celi jest Ramon, którego musimy uwolnić. Wiemy też, że jest ranny. A dlaczego nie było wczoraj odcinka na kanale? Z tego względu, że po prostu musiałem odpocząć. Ale jakoś tak przez cały dzień się czułem śpiący, chciałem po prostu odespać i nabrać sił. A tymczasem kontynuujmy. Mamy hiszpańskie buty, które mogę zabrać do ekwipunku.
That looks nasty. What is it? That must be the so-called Spanish boot. I don't think you can get far in that.
Nie mam zielonego pojęcia, do czego są te buty, ale biorąc pod uwagę fakt, że są jakieś kolce, być może, nie wiem, dochodzenie po piasku, po śniegu?
This rope is going to be useful to me.
Ta lina mi się przyda, tak? Czy ja mam coś, czym bym mógł tą linę... przeciąć? Nie, chociaż jest grot włóczni.
The spearhead is pretty sharp.
No właśnie, może za jego pomocą uda się ściąć linę. Też nie.
This thing isn't exactly the crowning glory of the inventor's art. More like something knocked up in a tea break.
Ale zauważyłem, że wszędzie tutaj biegają szczury.
This thing isn't exactly...
Dobra. Widzę, że grota z niczym połączyć nie mogę.
What's that? A horse with a saddle made of sharply angled steel. I just hope Ramon's been spared that.
Czyli rozumiem, że jest to coś w rodzaju tortur, tak? Ale zobaczcie, ile tu jest krwi wszędzie.
Now then, hooves up.
Dobra, udało nam się podstawić te hiszpańskie buty pod spód, ale w jakim celu? Po co my to zrobiliśmy?
Those are strange notches.
Tak jakby brakowało tutaj koła.
The crank from the grinding wheel.
Dobra, wziąłem korbę.
That used to be a whetstone, probably for sharpening torture instruments.
Osełka również trafiły do mojego ekwipunku. Długie łańcuchy.
What are these long chains doing hanging here? Whatever. I'm glad they are. I could well find a use for them.
Dobra, gdybym w jakiś sposób mógł te łańcuchy z czymś połączyć, połączyłbym na pewno z tym koniem. Przywiązałbym do tego, nie? Ale widzę, że na tą chwilę chyba tego wykonać nie mogę. Drewniane drzwi.
The guard wouldn't hesitate to chop my head off if I simply walked out of the prison. The chains are riveted to the wall, but there are a few hooks here. I could definitely use them.
Dobra, haki trafiły do mojego ekwipunku. Świetnie. Jeszcze mogę zabrać beczkę.
The barrel's broken. Only the lid and the base are solid.
Ale są to okrągłe elementy, a ja powiedziałem, że tutaj brakuje kółek. Zdecydowanie, nie? Więc być może faktycznie te elementy z beczek będę mógł tutaj podstawić, w te wycięcia. A jednak nie.
Now I can hang anything I like on them.
No ja bym chciał na nich zawiesić tego kłonia. Ale czy to będzie w ogóle możliwe? Wydaje mi się, że tak, ale w jakiś sposób tego konia bym musiał przetransportować tutaj bliżej. Po co mi korba? Nogi stojaka.
The wooden legs would fit through the notches, most certainly suitable as an axle.
Ale...
The wooden legs would...
No dobra, nogi by się nadawały, ale mimo wszystko nie chcę tego na tym użyć. Tą linę też w jakiś sposób bym chciał zdjąć.
Still got the hooks to get on. Then I don't need much more.
No dobra.
The horse isn't in a good place here. I should hook on the right once I've got the horse where I want it.
A, robimy sobie prowizoryczne koła.
There's no hole in the bottom of the barrel. I can't stick the table.
No dobra, ale mamy grota. A, widzicie, ja nie mogę to zrobić dziurwy za pomocą grota. Czyli będę musiał znaleźć inny sposób, żeby to tam zamontować.
There's no hole in the bottom of the barrel.
No okej. Tutaj mamy hak. Ale tego tutaj zawiesić nie mogę. Denko.
The crank isn't sharp enough. I can't drill into it with that. If I put that here, and then that here, then I've got a drill.
Mamy wiertło. Zróbmy zatem dziurwę. Ale wiecie co? Wydaje mi się, że potrzebuję jeszcze 2 takie koła od beczki. Jeżeli ja tego nie będę miał, to nie będę mógł tutaj tego podstawić. A widzę, że mamy tutaj tylko i wyłącznie jedną beczkę.
I'll take it apart again.
Chyba że uda się za pomocą innego koła w jakiś sposób to przetransportować.
It's holding, but I can't push it yet.
Czyli jednak nie, potrzebuję drugiego koła, tak?
Those are strange notches. Now there are wheels on the back. All that's missing now is the...
Tylko brakuje przedniego.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
Skąd zdobyć drugie koło?
Ramon?
Cela więzienna.
Who else is with you?
The Emir.
The former head of the city of Tripoli.
Quite correct. I've been a prisoner here for 7 years, since the Spaniards occupied the city.
How are you both? You've been stuck in here the longest of them all, yes?
Yes, anyway, at least I'm still sitting up, as opposed to your brother. He's got a fever, he's not at all well.
I'll look after him in a minute. I just need something to get the door open.
Forget the crowbar. Better look for a key. Because believe me, without that, you just aren't going to get the door open. I was personally involved in the construction of these cell doors. They are absolutely break-in and break-out proof. I wanted them like that. And it has to be said, I certainly got what I wanted.
Right then, get the key. Ramon, did you hear? I'll do that. Just hang in there.
I fear he can no longer answer. His fever has got worse.
Zerzura. Zerzura. What? What's he saying?
He's fantasizing about the lost desert city. He's mentioned it a lot these last few days.
Zerzura. Whatever. The most important thing now is to get the key.
Tak, musimy zdobyć klucz, żeby wydostać ich z celi. Ale się tak zastanawiam, no bo po co ta głowa w tym koniu?
Those are strange notches.
Dobra, co mi pozostało? Tak naprawdę mamy tylko i wyłącznie hiszpańskie buty, które mogę podłożyć z drugiej strony.
Up you go.
Ale nie mam kół. A gdyby tak to na butelkach przesunąć, ale widzę, że butelek na tym też użyć się nie da. Mam jeszcze kijek. I metalowe obręcze.
The horse isn't in a good place.
No dobra. Problem polega na tym, że już więcej beczek w sensie nie mogę rozebrać, nie? Na zewnątrz wyjść się nie da. Porozmawiać z nikim nie mogę. Mogę użyć łańcuchów. Ale na czym? Przysiągłbym, że muszę ich użyć na drzwiach od celi, ale nie mogę tego z tym połączyć. Więc musimy się poważnie zastanowić. Zwęglona gałąź. Ona też nie zniknęła z mojego ekwipunku, kiedy ją wykorzystałem. Więc być może też ją gdzieś będę mógł tutaj wykorzystać jeszcze. Chociaż ta ściernica mogłaby posłużyć za koło, przynajmniej jedno.
A terrible invention. Now there are wheels on the back. All that's missing now.
No bo mamy jeszcze jedną... No właśnie.
Now I might be able to drag it a couple of cubits at least. Now I can push the thing.
Dobra, udało nam się zrobić koło. Co prawda jedno, ale pasuje.
Now we want to see if this thing might still be of some use.
Dobra. Zaczepiamy jeden hak.
I've got the horse hooked onto the chains now. I can put the axles to one side now. The horse is hanging on the chains. The horse is dangling freely on the chains.
A my wzięliśmy z powrotem hiszpańskie buty. Ale tam linę też mogę w jakiś sposób wykorzystać. Więc co ja w takim razie muszę zrobić z tym koniem?
Fits too.
No dobra.
The horse is dangling freely on the chains.
Tutaj mamy stelaż.
Ho! That's going to make one powerful projectile.
I obstawiam, że teraz... myślałem, że mam jeszcze grot. Bym musiał przeciąć tą linę. Ale nie, dobra, może wystarczy po prostu na to kliknąć.
The door hasn't done me any harm. No need to smash it to bits.
Chyba, że najpierw bym zawołał strażnika, żeby tu przyszedł.
The guard wouldn't hesitate to chop my head off if I simply walked out of the prison.
Bo tu widzę, na ziemi nie ma żadnych elementów.
Ramon?
Feodor?
Get the key.
Zdobądź klucz. No plan jest taki, żeby zwabić strażnika do środka. Kiedy on wejdzie, kliknąć na stelaż, to go znokautuje, a my będziemy mogli zabrać jego klucz. Tylko właśnie o to chodzi, że ja nie mam pomysłu, w jaki sposób miałbym go zwabić.
The door hasn't done me any harm. No need to smash it to bits.
No właśnie, drzwi nie wyrządziły mi żadnej krzywdy. Drzwi nie.
Hasta la vista, compañero.
I o to chodziło. Świetnie. Chodźmy zatem po klucze. Mam nadzieję, że strażnik takowe ma przy sobie. A powinien mieć.
No key on him. Damn.
Cholera no. Nie ma klucza, ale Jasmina znajduje się w środku. Być może to ten drugi strażnik ma klucz.
I'll take it with me again.
Ponownie będę musiał podstawić pod okno, żeby z nią porozmawiać. I dlatego mam jeszcze węgiel w ekwipunku i tą kartkę, żebym mógł cokolwiek napisać. Tylko to będzie troszeczkę ryzykowne, nie? Bo jeżeli strażnik się zorientuje, że Jamila go przeszukuje albo coś, no to może się lekko zezłościć.
We can't talk here. Too dangerous. Well, the main thing is he's comfortable.
Ja nie mogę już pisać.
We can't talk here.
Ale dobra. Jest jeszcze inna opcja. My pozbyliśmy się strażnika, więc tu jest wejście do pałacu. Być może jest otwarte.
I can hear two men talking.
Butów na tym użyć nie mogę. Butelek również. A Feodor słyszy rozmowę dwóch kolesi. Dobra. Ale mimo wszystko wezmę to w wiaderko i napełnię je wodą. Może mi się jeszcze do czegoś przydać. Miecz. Okej. A tego stąd zabrać nie mogę. Koryto.
That calls for Jamila.
To wymaga Jamila. Aha, okej. Czyli muszę jej podać miecz. No dobra. Ha. Wziąłem koryto z wodą, a teraz się okazuje, że ja wcale tej wody nie potrzebuję. Ale ciekawe jest to, że ja tej wody nie mogę wylać z powrotem do studni, tylko muszę wylać do koryta, nie?
Jamila. Psst. Here, this is for you, with best wishes from the prison guard.
Feodor, you just get better and better.
I know. Now all I need is the key to the prison. Then we can...
O, obudził się.
What are you whispering for? There's somebody there! Get away from the window! Away from the window, I said! Are you deaf? Right then. I'll show you who's the master around here.
And I'll show you whose daughter I am. There! Take that, you cursed murderer! Would these be the keys you're looking for?
I think they are. I've got the key to the cell. Now let's get off to get Ramon.
Dobra, widzę, że Jamila wykonała swoją część zadania, chciała pomścić ojca i jej się to udało. A my musimy uwolnić naszego brata. Klucz do celi.
Ramon, my dear brother.
Feodor!
The fever has gone down, but we need water, food.
Yes, we're leaving here immediately.
Open up the other cells first, please. There are other prisoners.
I teraz by się przydał balon, którym byśmy mogli odlecieć.
You're free. Come on out. Come on.
Hey, what's going on here? Have you been partying without me?
Rafi, where have you come from all of a sudden?
I climbed over the wall. Where's Jamila?
In the palace. We're not finished with the guards. There's 2 of them running around still.
Good. Then there is something for me to do. I've got a saber. You take Jamila's for now.
Hey, the prisoners have broken out. Help! The devils are free. How quickly the tides can turn.
Mwah. Mwah. Good work, you two. That went quicker than I thought.
I've heard you say that once before, only this time it sounds much nicer.
And now?
Well, there's those 2 in the prison to be dealt with, and then we're out of here. Or do you want to weave yourself a victor's laurel wreath?
But where are we supposed to go?
To the hideout first, and then you can discuss what's next.
I'm so happy you're getting better, Ramon. All of you.
We have to thank you for that, Feodor. We wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for you.
While you were having your fever, you mentioned something about a city.
Yes, Zerzura, the legendary desert city, which is in no way lost, as many maintain it is. It is only uninhabited. The only person living there is the queen. The inhabitants have all been scattered to the 4 winds, but they'll find their way back, and quite soon, since it's the longing for their home that draws them back. And not only that.
What do you mean?
There is something which binds the inhabitants to their city. It's the water which they drank as children, and which still has an effect on them. Water which can heal all wounds, and which gives the Zerzurians unlimited life force.
Where do you know all this from?
From the Zerzurians themselves. Drinking the water has a small side effect. The hair turns white, and the eyes grow brighter. Yes, we are Zerzurians. You too.
But my hair's black.
Because you have never drunk the water. At least not directly. Our mother was pregnant with you when she had to flee Zerzura. But your eyes are just as bright as ours.
But I don't understand.
I know, Feodor. That's because you've never felt this longing in yourself. But I have. You know that I've spent my whole life looking for a reason for it. And now that I know it, I don't want to spend one more day without a home.
You want to go to Zerzura? Seriously?
All of us.
But you're all ill, completely unfit to travel. We can certainly find a good physician in Tripoli.
There is only one medicine that can heal us.
But how do you see this working? If you're right, then this city lies somewhere out in the desert. You don't even have the strength to stand on your own 2 feet. How are you going to march through the desert day after day? And carrying provisions, water and all of that?
We'll manage it. The thought of Zerzura will give us the strength.
But that's ridiculous. It will be certain death for you.
No, Feodor. It's our one chance of survival.
I'll find the city and then find the shortest route and then come back and get you.
But you don't know enough about it. That would be much more dangerous.
I value your concern, dear brother. But trust me, I have freed you from the clutches of the Inquisition and will now also find the desert city, lost or not. We'll set forth in 3 days.
No, not in 3 days. We have to hurry. We are not the only ones who wish to travel to Zerzura. The Grand Inquisitor will soon be setting out for there too, just as soon as he has found what he's looking for, and that won't be long now.
What's that you're saying? The Grand Inquisitor wants to go to Zerzura.
That's why he was looking for us. He needs the key in order to get into the city. And then it will be too late for all of us.
And where is this damned key?
Nobody knows exactly. The key was broken into several parts and distributed among the Zerzurians before their great flight, when they scattered to the four winds.
But the Grand Inquisitor has been searching doggedly and with all means of force, and certainly has already collected some pieces together.
Already got a few pieces. That means not all of them.
I don't think he has.
Quite definitely not. He was extremely angry when he saw that we didn't have any of the fragments.
Yes, but any kind of information is useful to him. He's set off at full speed into the desert.
Then we have to find the missing pieces before he does. Then let's go. What are we waiting for?
No dobra, musimy wyruszyć do Zerzuły. Tylko naprawdę oni wyglądają jak staruszki.
Please speak to our oldest. He can tell you more than I can. Please.
How are you doing?
I thank Sekhmet for sending you.
Lecznicza woda.
Do you know the source of the immortality?
No, that is known only by the Queen's 12 counselors.
Inkwizytor. Wygląda trochę jak papież.
What do you know about the Grand Inquisitor?
More than a person can stand. Don't ask.
He must be a cruel man.
Cruel and profoundly evil. And he will never rest until he has what he wants. May Sekhmet guard us from his rule.
Zerzura.
Do you know how we can get to Zerzura?
I have already once tried to find it. There is supposed to be a description of the route in the old ruins, but I didn't find it.
What ruins are these?
The Egyptian temple in the desert. 5 days' travel from Tripoli.
Królowa.
What do you know of the Queen?
Without her people, she is nothing, and with them, everything. She has no power on her own, but through us she can become as strong and powerful as she once was. Through us, and with Sekhmet's help as well.
That sounds like a person ought to beware of her.
The Queen is good. She is the one that we thank for the water that could make my eyes see once again. It is she who saw to it for centuries that Zerzura was the contented white city and a blooming paradise in the middle of the desert.
For centuries, you say?
Yes, the source of her power also knew the secret of immortality.
And it could be this, that the Grand Inquisitor wants to draw upon for himself.
That would suit him well. And if that man had that kind of power, then he would also turn that paradise into a burning hell.
Ucieczka.
I'm asking myself, why did you all flee from Zerzura? What happened back then?
Blood was spilled. A black day for Zerzura. Many died. All the others fled.
But why? How did things come to that?
I don't know, and I'm glad that I wasn't anywhere near the Queen's temple. My family came away unscathed. Sekhmet be thanked.
Take some rest.
Thank you, my boy. May Sekhmet be with you.
Czyli rozumiem, że będę musiał wyruszyć na pustynię.
Hello, Raffi.
Hey, Feodorus, what's the plan?
Przygoda.
Thanks again for your help, Raffi. My journey is now going to take me into the desert. My brother and I want to find Zerzura. You must have heard of this city.
A little. But what I did hear sounded pretty promising. You know what? I'll come with you.
Are you sure? We don't know how to find the place, nor do we know where we ought to search for the missing key fragments, and what we might find there.
Sounds like a children's game. When are we getting started?
See you later then.
See you around.
Chciałbym zacząć tak naprawdę jak najszybciej.
Hey,
Hey,
you've surely heard. I'm going to look for Ramon's desert city. We could do with whatever help we can get, but of course it's completely up to you if you want to come along or not.
is that what you want then? You want me to come with you?
It'll be a race against time. Ramon's wound is turning into blood poisoning. There'll be no healing him soon. Nobody actually knows where the city lies. And then there's still the crazy Grand Inquisitor, striving for world domination.
Well, since you ask so nicely.
Seriously though, Jamila, I don't want anything to happen to you.
Are you joking? I'm definitely coming with you.
I'm pleased about that, of course, but please think about it once more. Things could get really dangerous.
So? Who do you think you're talking to? In case you've forgotten, I'm Jamila, Carlos's daughter, and have been through plenty of other adventures before.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I fought side by side with my father on land and sea. I've survived a mutiny, cannonballs have flown past my ears, and someone even tried to hack me to death with an axe. But do you know the worst thing I've ever been through so far?
No idea. But the axe thing sounds pretty bad.
No, it was when we were in the palace and the captain drafted me into sewing like a housewife.
Fair enough, Jamila. Lovely to have you on board.
Dobra, Jamila będzie nam towarzyszyła. Powiem wam szczerze, że jestem szczęśliwy z tego powodu. Kobieca dłoń i to taka, wiecie, z szablą w ręce nam się przyda. Ramon choruje w sensie choruje. Ma posocznicę, tak? Wiecie co to jest? To jest tak naprawdę sepsa.
Salam alaikum, Honorable Emir.
Alaikum salam, my young friend.
A new adventure awaits. I'll go and search for Zerzura with my brother. You know, the city of which he has spoken again and again.
But it's really only a legend. Made up by grave robbers who could use such fairy tales to increase the value of their wares tenfold.
Ramon is sure that it really exists, and he's quite certainly no grave robber.
If you believe in it, then I'll come with you. As things are now, I can't stay here anyway. I used to often travel with the desert caravans. I know my way around somewhat. I can lead you if you wish.
Thank you. We're happy to accept your offer.
There's not enough gold in the world to pay for what you've done for me. If I can help you now, then I'm a happy man.
We'll see you later, Honorable Emir.
My heart will be filled with joy.
No to co, ruszamy. Potrzebujemy tak naprawdę 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wielbłądów.
I ought to stay and talk to everyone.
Ale już porozmawiałem z wszystkimi tak naprawdę. Chociaż nie porozmawiałem jeszcze z Ramonem.
Ramon?
Yes, brother?
Inkwizytor.
Have you ever seen the Grand Inquisitor?
Only as a shadowy form. He always kept himself in the background while his torturing knaves did their work.
What will he do if he gets all the pieces? What does he want with Zerzura?
Perhaps he wants to take back all of the relics from a lost crusade for the church.
For the church?
Yes. 200 years ago, a group of Crusader knights made their base in Zerzura. I'm guessing that the church is still speculating on there being a fair load of booty still there.
Could be right. If the Grand Inquisitor finds all of the key fragments, then he'll enter a city free of inhabitants, and it'll be an easy job for him to loot the place completely.
Don't underestimate the Queen, though. She won't allow that. She'd rather pit herself against a whole army rather than just give up her city.
Does she have any chance, though, against the Grand Inquisitor and his followers?
I hope so, for if not, then the days of Zerzura are surely at an end.
So we have to get there before him, then.
Zerzura.
Do you know the fastest way to get to Zerzura?
I would simply follow my heart.
You don't think there's a more, exact route description?
It's possible, but I don't know it. I have nothing that points to it in my notes.
Na szczęście będziemy mieli takiego przewodnika, który zna pustynię jak własną kieszeń, więc jakieś wskazówki na pewno znajdziemy. Bastet.
That cat's head goddess, Bastet. Is that her as well? The one who featured on all those lion head artifacts that you collected?
No, the one with the lion head is Sekhmet, Bastet's dark, angry sister.
Maszyna latająca.
Oh, but you don't know yet, Ramon. The flying machine with the leather hull and the basket that I built recently. Do you remember it? Yes, it did in fact fly. Can you imagine that?
Really? You got that thing into the air?
Yes, I even flew after you in it, as far as southern Spain.
So far, and in spite of your fear of heights? You're not just a genius. You have the heart of a lion too, my brother.
Matka.
So why did our mother flee Zerzura?
I don't know what happened exactly, but it must have been something pretty terrible. The one soul who has remained in the city is the queen.
Can you still remember our mother?
I was 5 years old when she died. I no longer have an image of her in my head, only in my heart. She was a good mother, happy and warm-hearted. You would have loved her too.
Yes. Do you know how she died?
From exhaustion. Tabit said that the travails of the flight were too much for her.
No, that's not what happened. Shortly before his death, he told me that the Inquisition took her and burned her at the stake.
What? Feodor, do you realize what that means?
Yes. The Grand Inquisitor must already have been searching for the key fragments at that time.
Królowa.
What else do you know about the Queen?
That there wouldn't be a Zerzura without her, and that she must be very old. I've spoken to various generations of Zerzurians, and they only ever speak of this one queen.
Why did she remain alone in Zerzura?
I have heard that her own fate is closely bound to the city. We should hope that she long continues.
The most important thing I need for the journey is preparation. Otherwise, we'll not get 2 days distant.
So it is. There's still water and supplies in a hiding place in my palace. I can go and fetch them.
Very good.
I'm going to draw a map with the other Zerzurians, showing the way to the Egyptian ruins.
Why? What are we supposed to do there?
There's supposed to be a map room there, which has a description of the way to Zerzura.
Really? In the old Egyptian ruins? I think I've been past there once.
Well, then you can help us.
Very happy to. As soon as I've got the supplies.
Good.
And I'll get blankets, lamps, and tents.
I'll help you with that, Rafi.
That is a whole lot of stuff for you two on your own. I'll come along too.
And who's taking care of the camels?
There's still one in the palace gardens, but it's not too well, unfortunately. I can ask my most loyal subjects for help, and definitely get hold of 3 camels, but that won't be enough.
No, we'll need at least 2 more. Pity that camel in the palace is sick.
You can make it well again, Feodorus. I get the feeling that you'd be good with camels.
You really think so? I was just thinking the opposite.
Even if you can get it fit again, we still need 1 more. There are 5 of us, and each has equipment and supplies.
Yes, that's right. You're 3 camels. The sick one, and then another one.
Then the other Zerzurians are going to have to stay here. They're too weak to walk. Better if we come and collect them once we've found Zerzura.
I've already spoken to them. They're agreed that they should wait and rest in Rafi's hideout.
Then that's all arranged. Everybody knows what they have to do, and I'll take care of the 2 missing camels.
Czyli mamy zadanie. Zdobyć 2 wielbłądy. Jednego musimy wyleczyć, a drugiego gdzieś ukraść. Nic trudniejszego. Do bramy miejskiej. Zaczniemy od tego miejsca. Tu mamy 4 wielbłądy.
Would appear to be a trader from the desert. Maybe a Bedouin. Uncle Tabit always liked to tell stories about them. Greetings.
Take your time to look at everything. My goods are of the finest quality.
Mnie tak naprawdę interesują tylko te stworzenia z 4 nogami. Zerzura.
You come from the desert, don't you? Then you must definitely have heard of Zerzura.
Why are you interested in such a thing?
Why not? Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Zerzura, the White City, the lost desert paradise.
Those are fairy tales. To us, Zerzura means something quite different.
Like what? Tell me, please.
How many names do you want to hear?
Well, why don't you just start?
The forbidden city of the horizon. There where the sandstorms rage. The city of no return. The city of the vain search, of eternity, of death.
Sounds even more exciting. I think I have to go there.
Only one who doesn't know the desert could speak like that. Don't try to find that which doesn't want to be found.
Pustynia.
Do you come here from the desert every day? That must be an arduous journey.
That's right. That's why we've set up camp here and take turns. It's a shame we're not allowed into the city to exchange our goods with other traders anymore. We've been living off dry bread and beans for days.
Dobra, gdybyśmy tak dokonali handlu wymiennego, ja będę miał prowiant, a my potrzebujemy 2 wielbłądów. Towary.
What do you sell?
Mainly salt, but also soap and stone craftwork. We have a long tradition of stone art.
What do you want for one of your camels?
Normally they aren't for sale, but if you help us get our goods sold, then we'll give you one.
Dobra, ja potrzebuję 2, ale powiedzmy, że tamtego uda nam się wyzdrowić.
What do you want for one of your...
But if you help...
Trypolis.
Why can't you go into the city?
The new rulers of the city have decreed it so. We're avoiding trouble and selling outside the city, even though hardly anyone passes by.
Adios.
May the sun be with you.
Miło się rozmawiało.
There is even a display space. Must be the Bedouin stone craftwork, painted colourfully. Stones the size of ostrich eggs, all shaped in the same way, like a crystal. Strange.
Ale nie mogę tego zabrać.
A crate of bagged salt. The Bedouin are well known for trading salt. Uncle Tabit always brought some back from his trips and insisted on only this salt on his food. Damn, I miss him.
Chcesz wino? Nie chcesz? A może coś takiego by ci się przydało? Też nie. A może pomarańcze?
One of Rafi's friends. Shady characters.
Szemrane typy, szemrane interesy, tak?
Some alms for a poor old man?
I'm really sorry, but I've got nothing.
Think of me, sir, when you have something. Allah will thank you for it.
Jasne. Mogę ci dać mandarynkę. Albo wino.
Here, you can certainly use this.
And how? My gullet's as dry as a desert bush in autumn. You're a good man. Allah will thank you for your kindness. Salut.
Jak siorbie.
Greetings, good man.
Zerzura.
Have you ever heard of Zerzura?
Zerzura. That was the name of the lead bull camel on the last caravan. A beautiful creature.
I mean Zerzura, the desert city.
Kazuza. That means hungry in Spanish. I know that word in nearly every language.
Zerzura.
What was the question again?
Adios.
Peace and happiness to you and all your children.
Dobra, to wino chyba mu bardziej zaszkodziło niż pomogło.
Good day, sir.
Thank Allah that he led you to me. How can I serve you, good sir?
On chyba już zapomniał, że nas sprzedał. Handel z tueragami.
Did you know there are Bedouins camping outside the gates of the city, selling cheap soap and salt?
Yes, that's why the market here is so empty. The damn Spanish don't let anyone in.
And it looks like those chaps are quite famished and have a real appetite for dates.
Ah. For dates, you say?
I think they'd pay a lot for them.
Thank Allah for sending you. He has spared me. By Allah, that's what I call a good deal.
Forsooth, I haven't made a better one in months. Young friend, many thanks for your help. You're welcome to choose a camel and collect it when you are ready.
Yes! Thank you. I've got one camel.
Jeszcze musimy zdobyć drugiego. Ale z kupcem nie porozmawiałem na wszystkie tematy.
Good day, sir.
Thank Allah that he led you.
Pałac.
What are you doing back here? You're not a slave anymore?
No. We overcame the guards, and for the time being have them locked up in prison.
The Spaniards deserve nothing better. Maybe I ought to sell the soldiers on as slaves. Or maybe I should move into the palace and get them to work for me. That would serve them right.
As you like. Here's the key for the prison. Have fun with the soldiers.
That I will.
See you later.
Allah be with you.
Nam ten klucz tak naprawdę do niczego się nie przyda. Dobra, ale gdzie zatem jest ten chory wielbłąd?
Oh. Hello, Jamila.
Hey, I'm combing these things here for provisions and such for our journey.
Of course. I understand. Don't stop. She's searching for all the stuff we need for our journey. I'd prefer not to...
Paproć.
If I'm not completely mistaken, those have to be ferns.
Nie wiem, co jedzą wielbłądy, ale być może paprotki będą służyły jako medykamenty. Chory wielbłąd. Nie mogę mu dać paprotki. Drzwi do komnaty sypialnianej. Tu już nie widzę żadnych innych elementów, które bym mógł wziąć.
I don't want to go in there. That's where the dead captain is.
Dobra, jest jeszcze plan taki. Bierzemy wiaderko. Ja nie mogę tego wiaderka już zabrać. Cholerciano. I koryto też nie jest już klikalne. Wiecie, myślałem, że wezmę wiaderko, nie? Naleję wody, wrzucę do środka paprotkę i w ten sposób
The guards...
będę mógł nakarmić wielbłąda, ale... No nie. Widzę, że żadnych naczynek wziąć już nie mogę. Czyli wychodzi na to, że tutaj muszę coś wykombinować. Tu jest sporo tych naczynek. Jakieś garnki, nie garnki.
That seems to be the only camel in the stable. The Grand Inquisitor has taken all the others with him. It doesn't seem to be too healthy. Hardly moves, but still seems to be breathing. Exactly the reason why the Grand Inquisitor and his people have left it behind.
Biedny.
I need to get the camel back up on its feet. Otherwise Ramon isn't going to make the journey.
Coś będę potrzebował. Dobra, cofnijmy się.
I don't need... Greetings, good man.
Wielbłąd.
You don't know anything about camels by any chance?
Camels? Huh. That's about the only thing I do know about.
Really?
Yes. I was the camel doctor in the palace of the former emir, until the Spanish came.
Would you mind having a look at a sick camel? Perhaps it isn't all that serious.
Perhaps. It's just I haven't eaten anything today and the wine won't last much longer either.
Don't worry, your efforts won't be for nothing.
It would seem that the poor thing has only got a rather large cactus spine stuck between his toes.
So he can walk again soon?
I can pull the spine out, but then the wound will need to heal first. We need to give it a good clean and bandage it.
Clean and bandage. All right. With what?
Bring me salt and fern leaves.
Dobra, liście paproci mamy, ale potrzebujemy jeszcze soli. Myślę, że to też nie będzie trudne.
Greetings.
Take your time to look at everything. My goods are of the...
Sztuka kamieniarska.
What exactly are these stones supposed to represent?
They are reproductions of the sun splinter, which we revere highly. Possessing it brings luck and joy.
When you say sun splinter, you actually mean a crystal, right?
If you want to call it that. A stone like this doesn't cost much compared to the divine source from which you can draw from then on.
Sól.
I'd like a bag of salt.
With what would you like to pay for it?
With this device for stone crafting.
I don't know this. What is it supposed to be?
What? You don't know it? It's a holding device for stones, so they can be painted from all sides. No smudging, no dirty fingers from holding it.
Let me see. Yes, it looks really useful. Thank you. Here's your salt.
Mówiłem, że to nie będzie trudne.
Adios.
May the sun be with you.
Ale przynajmniej pozbyliśmy się tych hiszpańskich butów.
He was definitely a good camel doctor. I hope for his sake he finds his calling again. He was Here's the salt.
Have you got the ferns too?
Yes, sure. Here.
So, in a few hours I can have the camel walking again.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Please take something from the stores here to fill your empty stomach.
I have reason to be thankful too.
So that's the second camel. I should go back to the hideout and tell the others.
Jamila, chodź ze mną.
Northeast from this point?
Yes, right there, I'm quite certain.
How are you getting on?
Very good, Feodor, very good. The Emir can remember the ruins quite precisely. We could pretty much draw the way there exactly to the foot.
Fantastic. Then nothing else can go wrong.
Have you been able to get hold of 2 camels? I can hardly wait to get going.
You will have to be patient a little longer, dear brother. I have 2 camels, but one of them is still a bit weak, and will be ready to go in a few hours.
That's fine. We should wait until nightfall before we leave anyway. Our first stop is not so far from Tripoli, at a watering point on the caravan road, but far enough that we have the dunes behind us.
Good.
So, the pack saddles are loaded. I prepared Ramon's saddle a bit so that he can keep his legs still.
Thank you, Jamila. That's really very nice of you.
Yes. Strange, isn't it? I don't even recognize myself.
Now, a decent meal and a nap, and then I'm ready to go.
Good plan. That's exactly what we'll do.
Together with his friends and Ramon, he ventured into the unknown, deeper and deeper into the desert, into that sea of stone and sand.
Where are we?
A watering point in the middle of the desert.
Watering point?
Yes. On a caravan road, there are stores of water at regular intervals. The caravan leaders get them filled when they pass by on the route.
How practical.
There's water in many places in the desert. For example, look at that termite hill over there.
Really? Do the termites gather water?
You could put it that way. If you eat enough termites, you certainly won't die of thirst.
Mapę otoczenia można otworzyć klikając na nią prawym przyciskiem myszy lub używając klawisza M na klawiaturze. No i świetnie. Moi drodzy, dotarliśmy do punktu, w którym możemy odpocząć. I to odpocząć dosłownie, ponieważ mamy przed sobą weekend i słyszymy się dopiero w poniedziałek. W takim razie dzięki wielkie, życzę wam spokojnego odpoczynku, miłego weekendu i do usłyszenia. Hej!